Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Online Teachings with Svagito. I'm with him today on Zoom to have him talk about the new online course that he's offering on relationship and the dimensions of self-love. Svagito, in the course description, you say that only a person who loves him or herself can love others and can be in a relationship without being destroyed by it. Can you say something more about that, please?
Basically, a person who is in love with himself will attract other people who also are in love. And then there is an independent relationship. Otherwise, there are two people who need each other. And ultimately, in the beginning, maybe you are happy because you have the hope, finally you get the love you always wanted. But finally, this leads to frustration on both sides. So a person who loves himself is attracting people who also love themselves. And so in order to have a relationship, we need to have a certain ability to love and respect ourselves. And that comes to the second point, because loving oneself is only possible with awareness. So what we usually think loving oneself means, I go to the gym or I go to a health club and then I love myself. But this may be just your desire or a desire from the mind. It may be self-love, but it is not clear. So self-love needs actually great consciousness and awareness. And when we talk about self-love in ordinary situations, we often misunderstand. We just talk, I give this to myself and I love myself. And very often this is just a desire. And the desire comes from the mind, and the mind is not really capable of love. So you have to come to the space of the heart. So we need an awareness to know when are we functioning from our mind and when are we functioning from our heart.
Yeah, I agree that there is a lot of misunderstanding around self-love and how to do it.
But one thing good is, for me, it usually starts with the body. More listening to your body and heart, because often the body is closer to our true reality. So if we are more aware of our body, so we are more conscious of our body, how we use our body and what our body needs, we are much closer to loving ourselves, really. And in our modern world, we are actually only using our body. We are not often love our body, really. So loving yourself often starts with listening to your body. That's the beginning. It's not the end, because on the other side, people get very obsessed with their body. This is also not loving yourself. Now people, get crazy about food or allergies or whatever, and then they get so uptight around what they can do or not do. And for me, this is also an obsession. I don't think this is loving yourself. Loving yourself has a lot to do with coming to a space of yes to yourself, to your surrounding, and to life as it is, and not to have carry any obsession. A simple yes to yourself and to what life presents to you. And sometimes you get what you want and sometimes you don't, and you have to find a yes to that also.
Exactly. The last time we spoke, you said something about relationship and that it's not about harmony. Can you say something about that again?
Yeah, because this is a bit this childish concept that maybe we carry from our childhood, where you think, finally I find the perfect person and then we're going to live in peace and harmony and joy forever. But actually, it's not like this. The relationship is not, it's just a learning situation to learn something, what love really means. So it's a class. And basically what you learn in relationship, you learn to open up yourself to somebody or to aspects of somebody who actually in the beginning disturbed you. And then suddenly, after a while, you can say yes to that also. So you are starting an expansion, an inner expansion, where you can love aspects of somebody which in the beginning disturbed you. So you learn something. Love is the ability to say yes, basically, to say yes to yourself and to say yes to life as it is and to people as they are. And this needs some practical steps to learn that, because people often say, I love people, or I love this is just talk, because you have to practice it in day-to-day situations and then check, are you able to do this or not? And it takes is a long journey, and it takes a lot of awareness and practice. And with different people you meet in your life, you learn different things. And this is not about harmony. It is about opening yourself, and opening yourself also to disturbances that will always come up. Disturbance is actually the way to grow. I remember Osho used to put people together in a work project who didn't like each other. So he deliberately created disturbances for them. It's not that he put people together who harmonize, just the opposite. So we usually do the opposite. We look for people with whom we harmonize, or we have the same interest, or this like this. That's okay, but it is not that you have a great learning potential then. It relaxes you maybe, but growth is different. Growth is something else. Growth happens through also being challenged.
Yeah. So if I'm in a relationship now and I'm really struggling with something where I need something and I don't get it, how do I do what you just said? How do I learn from that?
Well, there is, of course, a personal potential and a personal limitation. So we have to be in touch with that. What can I digest and open up to, and what I cannot? That is also okay. So it's not that you have to stay with the same person forever, or through even you're disturbed. No, you respect your limitation also. But it is not the other who is responsible if you separate. It is your own limitation, your own inability to say yes to how the other person is. And that is okay, but usually we don't do that. We usually blame the other when something goes wrong. And that is a basic mistake. If you are not capable of saying yes to something, it's also okay to leave and separate. But it's not the fault of the other. It is your own incapacity, and that is also okay to have that. So it is okay to separate. And sometimes by staying together, you may grow a bigger capacity. It depends. When a couple comes to me, I can never know in the beginning if it's better for them to stay together or it's better for them to separate. We will have to find out. So I don't have any, program or concept what should happen, or like in couple counseling, people come together and then the counselor should help them to stay together. I don't think this is a good approach. I think the good approach is to find out what is the best step for each person in their growth of consciousness. And that has to be discovered. You don't know that from the beginning.
And I know also this course is, of course, not only for couples, but also for people who are not in a relationship.
Sure.
Both about relationship and self-love. And
sure,
self-love is relevant.
Yeah, because we all have a longing for love. Love is the only important thing in life. So whether you have a partner or not, you still have a longing for love. That is our human condition. And unless you are enlightened, you're going to have this longing, because it is actually the only meaningful thing in life. And this longing is beautiful to have. And it is sometimes you can fulfill something like that by being alone, and sometimes by being with somebody.
So in this course, people will present their personal questions and work with you. So we get practical examples of life situations.
Yeah. And also for people who, work already with people, and they can want another input, how I approach things. That is also possible. So it has both aspects, and there will be space for questions, personal and also more methodical questions. Yeah. And I think love is a really important subject, It's you cannot do love. So there are things in life you cannot do, like love, meditation, creativity. You cannot do it. So there's a great mystery in that, and to discover something about love is quite amazing. No, it's not something you can do.
Yeah, a plan or.
Yeah, that's right.
So I look forward very much to this exploration. Thank you, Svagito, for meeting.
Thank you, Kandra. I look forward to much love.